Happy Tuesday, everyone, and I've got a major update for you in regards to the government shutdown. No, it's not the fact that it passed the Senate, but what if I told you I got the time and date that the House expects to pass it and the shutdown will be over? We got to talk HBAR because we got to talk about that ETF. Speaking of ETFs, what are the odds that the Canary Capital XRP ETF is going to go live? We'll talk inflows, price action, what's going on with the government.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Along with me providing over how many hours? Well, we could count them real quick. Here's 5.5. Here's another 3. We're at 8.5. We're at 9.25. We're at 12:30, 12:45. Oh, crap. We're at what? 13:17. We're at almost 22 hours of live coverage for you regarding the vote. And I'm going to keep that coverage going when the House does theirs. And yes, everyone, I've got the time and date for when the House expects to pass it. Now, we are red. The market is pulling back from the excitement of yesterday. We'll talk about it. We're also going to talk about, well, your comments. Even though I give big props to the chat in the live streams, I want to share a couple comments. Maximus Decimus says, thanks for the lives, Klaus and company. No, thank you all for watching. It was a lot of fun. Tons of people got involved in the live streams. Mikey Ivor says, did it pass? It passed the Senate, but now it has to go to the House, where the House is going to debate it. Some people are going to be pissed. AOC and the crew is going to be pissed. Maxine is going to be pissed. Who else? Well, there's going to be a bunch. It's going to go to the House for debate and for vote. I've got the dates and times. David Montequia says, you're the man, Kay, my favorite show. Well, I appreciate that, kind sir, and well done on the old gun show. Bitcoin, 104,467. ETH is 35.33. What are you noticing? It's red up on the screen. Zcash, a big pullback of 20%. You've got ADA not able to crack the 60-cent mark. BNB under 1,000. Sol is down as well. And you're like, bro, but the Sol ETFs, yes, we're going to talk about it. Now, Bitcoin dominance, altcoin dominance, well, you know the deal. Still BTC dominant. We're at 29 out of 100. Volume for the crypto market is fairly healthy at $186 billion. Did we have inflows yesterday? We didn't have jack shit happen yesterday. Nothing for inflows or outflows, really. Why? Because they were waiting to see what happened with the Senate. And the Senate was held hostage yesterday by Democrat and Republicans. Both sides of the aisle. Republicans can thank Rand Paul, and all's good from the Democrats. Held up roll call for what, like 3 hours yesterday? The Solana spot ETFs have a 10-day inflow streak, which is better than what you've seen for BTC and ETH. But is it bringing us money? The Solana ETFs have brought in a 10-day inflow streak of $342 million. That's not bad, but as you see, it's not bringing any juicy price action. I mean, look at Sol. Have you seen any pump from the Sol ETFs? And that's making XRP players out there nervous that when the Canary Capital ETF goes live, because yeah, I'm telling you, I think we got a 99% chance that this bad boy goes live, and I'm going to explain to you why. But a lot of people out there are panicking, going, well, bro, we haven't gotten the big pumperoni from the ETFs. No, we have not. In fact, if we put a little bit of Solana action up on the screen, you're going to see clear as day. There really wasn't any action from the Sol ETFs. And for those of you out there that are like, bro, how are these ETFs getting approved? Well, there's a little clause. See, a lot of these players are filing amendments. They're refiling, right? When they refiling, they're putting a clause in there that says, hey, if after 20 days you don't give us the approval or denial, we go forward with it anyways. So that's what happened with the Sol ETF. That's what also happened with the HBAR ETF. Speaking of the HBAR ETF, yes, HBAR had a pumperoni on the news, but then what? Had a dumperoni on it. We had another pumperoni based on what? The optimism through the Senate, and a dumperoni with what? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Crypto is about pumps and dumps. All right? Look at the Sol chart. Same thing. Zoom out. Sol pumps and then it dumps. It pumps big over 200 and then it dumps. That is how everything has been trading in the market. Even Zcash is being put under some pressure right now. It's had a good move overall, but we've seen nothing really holds. Now, here's what's going on. I've got the times and dates for you, and yes, we're going to be live streaming it. It's almost over, everyone. The Senate voted, the Senate passed it, and now it goes to the House. House Republican leaders have notified their rank and file to expect a vote on the bill to end the record-setting government shutdown as early as 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Here's the problem, though. Do we have enough votes for it to pass? And some of you out there are going to be like, but bro, we already passed it and sent it to the Senate. You would be correct, except they modified that bill in the Senate. And since they modified that bill in the Senate, you've got a lot more Democrats that are pissed. In fact, even Schumer, they're saying, is going to be ousted after this because it was a failure on the Democrats' part. So 4 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, they are going to start. They are officially called back to the House noon tomorrow. By the way, happy Veterans Day to you all, especially the veterans out there. Super especially to the veterans out there, my brother included. So, they're going to show up at noon on Wednesday for the House. The first vote is expected to happen at 4. We're not even sure if that vote's going to pass. There's going to be some pissed off people. They're going to be debating it, and that's how it goes. Now, if those of you are wondering, well, bro, how did it pass the Senate? Well, here are the 8 names of the Democrats that decided to vote yes with the Republicans to open the government back up. Catherine Cortez Masto, Dick Durbin, John Fetterman, Maggie Hassan, Tim Kaine, Angus King, Jackie Rosen, Jeanne Sheehan. Yes, those 8 Democrats crossed the line to what everyone opened the government back up. Now, let's talk about that XRP Canary Capital ETF. Here's what we know. This is big stuff, all right? There's some procedural stuff. Canary Capital did the same thing with the XRP ETF as they did with the Sol one. They made a little addendum in their filing and said, hey, if after 20 days you don't touch this, you don't tell us what's up, we get the automatic approval. That date is the 13th of November, okay? That's the 13th. That's 2 days from now. Here's the deal. You've got the House starting tomorrow, right? They start at noon tomorrow. First vote is expected at 4. That's on the 12th, okay? Then what happens is that has to pass that day. Think about it. We got to see if it passes the first vote. If it doesn't pass, or if it does, check this out. Here's the timing. Let's say it does pass on the 12th. Well, that's got to go to the president to sign it, and I'm assuming he's going to sign that bad boy right away. Awesome. That's going to be after 4 p.m. easily, right? Because we know that the vote's scheduled at 4 p.m. And that's why I scrubbed the news for you. So, you know, and what did I say? I told you last night on the live stream, my job between then and all day today is to find you the quotes, find you the juicy tidbits that these House of Representatives people are laying out, and I found them for you. So, let's say the first vote happens at 4, it gets approved, it's still got to go to the president. Well, it's not like the SEC is going to call people at 7, 8 p.m. at night and go, yo, bros, chicks, blue-haired giraffes, come into the office. We need you to do work. No, they're going to say, hey, look, we are not going to officially call you back into work until we know this thing is passed and signed by the president. So basically, as long as they to be honest with you, I don't think they can do it fast enough in order to shut down the XRP ETF. Because, again, the SEC is down to a skeleton crew of only 10% of their workforce working right now. All the people that deal with ETFs, well, guess what, everyone? They are on furlough. And they won't be called in until they know for a fact that it has gone through. Canary Capital Spot XRP ETF has been cleared for a NASDAQ listing, marking a historic milestone for the cryptocurrency market. The approval of this ETF has generated considerable excitement within the community, but we're not seeing the price action that we would like. In fact, what are we noticing? Yes, more of the pumps and dumps by the rumor sell the news. The ETF, which will be listed under the ticker XRPC, right? XRP Canary, that's where the C comes from, is expected to begin trading this week because we don't think the SEC is going to be able to shut it down in time. The approval process advanced quickly after Canary Capital filed its Form 8A with the SEC on November 10th, basically saying, look, without further delays, we go live. Awesome, isn't it? Now, the thing is, we saw it. HBAR got a pumperoni on the ETF news and a dumperoni. Yesterday, we were watching XRP roar. People were going, yo, bro, the reason XRP is going to roar is because guess what? We should be good with the ETFs, and we should be good with the government shutdown ending. And then players started taking profits. It's not nasty, don't get me wrong. We're only down 4% in the day, but a lot of people were expecting more than this. In fact, all over Twitter, everyone was saying we're going to go to $10 XRP by the end of the month. I don't know what the hell people are coming up with that crap for. Volume for XRP, $5.3 billion. Canary Capital ETF, pretty much guaranteed to go live on the 13th. Will it give us a boost to XRP price? Solana's having inflows, but there's no boost to that price. And honestly, I think the market's a little worried that the Democrats might delay this a little bit longer. They might grandstand and they might what, everyone? Drag their feet. We saw what happened in the Senate, and you got a bunch of radicals in the House that are going to do everything they can to keep the government shut down so that they can extend insurance benefits for illegals for another year. Yep, that's the big breaking point right now. You want up to the second coverage on what happens with the government shutdown, what happens with the vote in the House? Well, this is the place to be because we're going to be live streaming the House as well. That's right, I gave you over 20 hours of live stream coverage from Friday to last night. Yesterday was a marathon session in the Senate. It was a marathon session here because I'm dedicated to you, the viewer. Yes, you, the viewer, matters most. Now, that being said, the odds are pretty high that the House is going to do it. We just don't know if it's going to be clean on their first attempt at it or if we're going to have some problems garnering the votes. Like I said, my job all day today is to scrub the quotes from the House of Representatives members to see if they leak out anything, to see if there's any big players out there that are like, no, we don't have the votes, or people saying, yes, we do have the votes, but it's going to come at cost X, Y, or Z. Speaking of X, XRP is starting to pull back a little bit from the enthusiasm of last night. We got the ETF from Canary set to go on the 13th, and honestly, the way the timing works out, I don't think the government can open fast enough to call the SEC workers into work to then be able to shut it down. Now, the rest of the ETFs, you know, the staff can have a chance to shut them down, but maybe the SEC is like, yo, we've screwed the American people over enough. We shouldn't do it anymore. Now, Solana's had the inflows, but the price hasn't been there. In fact, the price for HBAR ETF was a pumperoni and dumperoni, and what, everyone? That's how the crypto market goes. So, I'm going to be bringing you the coverage. We're going to be talking crypto. We're going to be talking prices. We're going to be talking regs. Yes, regs, that's right. Because if the government shutdown ends tomorrow, that gives us almost 3 months to work on regs. And Thune even said, hey, look, we're going to start voting on stuff in mid-December, so they're not going to wait to the last minute like they did before, which means there might be a sense of urgency from this group right now to get things done. So I'm going to keep bringing you news, good, bad, happy, or sad. Crypto operates on pumps and dumps. So does my OnlyFans channel. Choo-choo what? Well, you know the deal. The sign behind me says it. Whoop, wrong hand. The sign behind me says it. Choo-choo what? Choo-choo bitches.